Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today we have the pleasure of watching StealthPanzer from the European server playing the infamous Pz.Kpfw. This vehicle is probably the best tier 5 tank inside the game. It's an outrageously OP tank because it's basically like taking a tier 7 hull, dropping it down to tier 5 and giving the vehicle preferential matchmaking so it never even has to meet tier 7 tanks. Accordingly, it gets up into matchups like this very often. Now, StealthPanzer, boy, they got this thing set up. Bounty rammer, bounty vents with optics, and they seem to be try-harding because they're also using a vent purge on this vehicle, something that I would only usually put on, say, like a tier 10 tank if I'm trying to push for a new rank inside Onslaught. But I tell you what, StealthPanzer is going to push it to the limit here with the Pz.Kpfw. If you want to see probably the most sweaty setup on the most overpowered tier 5 tank, then this is going to be the one for you. In addition to that, you know, StealthPanzer doesn't believe in things like regular rounds, doesn't believe in things like premium regular consumables as well, just premium across the board. This is filthy min-maxing. But what you're going to see today from StealthPanzer is just taking it to a whole new level of carrying the team. You know, once you take an overpowered vehicle and you give it all of the bells and whistles, it's pretty much taking like 110% kind of performance and pumping it up to like 120 or even more. It's almost like cheating playing a tank like this with this kind of a setup. And in the first minute and 50 seconds of this game, StealthPanzer has already had a really good game for what a tier 5 would usually have. But oh wow, look at that. Losing the ammo rack? What is this? Mere mortal Panzer 4H that pens this premium tank? This vehicle, I believe, was actually one of the rewards for being kind of like a World of Tanks founder, a premium World of Tanks founder. This was the second biggest package that you would have to buy back before April 2011 to be able to get your hands on this tank. Although Wargaming did make it available, I believe, in some kind of auction, which is where I got my hands on this tank a few years ago now in some kind of black market event, but I don't think they've sold it since. And honestly, this vehicle at tier 5 is just as toxic, although in a different way, as the BZ-176 at tier 8. And I really hope that Wargaming don't sell this vehicle, because for every time they do, all it takes is a couple of people like StealthPanzer to go and set it up outrageously, love the vehicle and play it to death, and a lot of the new players at tier 5 are going to suffer for it. This game is just absolutely outrageous because even though StealthPanzer's up to 1,700 combined, and they've also managed to pick up 4 frags, literally destroying like 25% of the enemy team, their team is still down by 2,000 hit points and down by 2 frags as well. Looks like StealthPanzer is going to try and help out the Pz.Kpfw. Unable quite to do so, but a cheeky bit of auto-aiming here is going to work out well. And one thing I actually like in StealthPanzer's gameplay here is they're not just using auto-aim because they're lazy. I believe they're using auto-aim because they know how important it is to anger this hull. This is a Panther hull. A Panther hull doesn't do very well at tier 7, but when there's no tier 6 or tier 7 tanks on the enemy team, boy, does it do well at tier 5. This thing's one of the best rammers in the game, probably tier for tier. But you still do have to sacrifice quite a lot of hit points to be able to land out those rams, unlike something like an E50M where your armor's a lot thicker and you can take field mods to reduce that ramming damage received. So StealthPanzer is already up to a top gun now. They have got all of the frags so far on their team, and it doesn't look like they're going to show signs of stopping anytime soon, as they're also going after now the Pz.Kpfw inside the cap circle. There was only 9 seconds left there for StealthPanzer to be able to interrupt. And, oh no, bit of bad RNG, they don't manage to finish off the Pz.Kpfw, and that means they lose an extra 100 hit points. And we'll have to see whether that's going to come back to haunt them later on in this game. And, oh, another missed shot, getting shot in the side by the Churchill 3. And it looks like StealthPanzer's game is starting to come apart at the seams here, trying to finish off the T-34. They've got a Churchill coming up behind them. They're going to have to turn to deal with that while also interrupting the cap circle. Are they going to be able to get some shots through the gaps here? They can. They shoot the Churchill 3. The Churchill 3 doesn't seem to be too wise to it. And the StealthPanzer are going to have to turn now. Now up to a Radley Walters medal, having destroyed 8 vehicles on the enemy team. That's half of the enemy team single-handedly. And it's only their platoon mate, Dead Pandora, who's actually managed to pick up a frag. Also, I'd love for you right now to look at the minimap. Look at that northwest corner. the Churchill 3 that I'll highlight here for you. Keep an eye on that Churchill 3 as StealthPanzer now enters a 1 versus 6. Oh, not many hit points left as well. 200 becomes 140. StealthPanzer finishes off the Churchill, finishes off the Wolverine on the enemy team, turns their attention towards the AMX ELC, and there's still a Churchill 3 inside the cap circle with a Panzer IV Hydrostat that they don't know where they're going to be. StealthPanzer is now up to 10 frags. They've destroyed 2/3 of the enemy team, and there's still 4 tanks left alive. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you know what that means. That means that StealthPanzer is now going to be contesting for the Rezene Heroes Medal, as well as a 1 versus 6 for the Kolobanovs Medal. But you know what? With 140 hit points and clearly a Churchill 3 who's now left the cap circle to come and try and hunt the rear of StealthPanzer's tank, they've got their work cut out for them. They've decided to go straight towards this ELC. Auto-aiming here. A little bit of a misplay there with the auto-aim, but back to manual aim to finish them off. The Panzer IV Hydrostat, a Tier 5 premium German medium tank, a lot like this one, but a lot less powerful, is trying to hunt from the north, while the Churchill 3 hasn't been in the cap circle for a while, so maybe they're trying to run down the map towards StealthPanzer here. And the Churchill 3 has been spotted, but oh, we can't worry about that right now, as StealthPanzer's going to go after the Panzer IV. And look at this angling right now. This is why StealthPanzer is auto-aiming. They're auto-aiming because they know their gold rounds will go right through the side, but what they can do instead is focus on the angling of the hull, and that allows them to ricochet 3 shells, or a couple of shells there, from the Panzer IV, keeping them in the game with 140 hit points. But with 12 kills to their name now, they're going to have to also try and find this Churchill 3. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I don't care whether StealthPanzer is using bounty equipment with a vent purge and only spamming gold. This is still an outrageous game of World of Tanks. 4,200 damage dealt at Tier 5. Literally 12 out of the possible 14 frags secured so far for StealthPanzer. And a Churchill 3 driving up straight towards them. StealthPanzer putting some shots into the lower plate here. They should know that they can be able to penetrate the Churchill, and the turret would mean that they wouldn't have to expose so much of their armor. But then again, it's not the hull that's the problem on this tank, it's the turret. So, woof! With 69 hit points left, not so nice to be a one-shot in this situation. Now StealthPanzer has a 1 versus 1. 13 frags to be able to get to this situation. The 1 versus 6 becomes a 1 versus 1, and it looks like the adrenaline might be running high right now. The StealthPanzer is expecting the Churchill, who hasn't moved, or at least been spotted in the last 5 minutes of the battle, from their location at the B2. Man, the tension is high. If I was in this situation, I'd be having a heart attack right now. I've never had an opportunity to contest more than 12 kills in World of Tanks. That has been my max in an E75 all those years ago. But being able to get 14 kills in World of Tanks, that is the enigma for so many players. It's the medal that nobody gets, right? The Rezene Heroes Medal. 14 kills required. With 1 left on the enemy team, StealthPanzer's pinging the map. Are they pinging for themselves? Or are they pinging to try and have an idea of where the Churchill would be? Or are they pinging maybe because they were on voice comms with their platoon mates Dead Pandora and Rumbleball? Can you imagine being StealthPanzer's friends here? Looks like maybe he's leveling up with a couple of players who are not so experienced. Rumbleball and Dead Pandora literally just sitting back and going, all right, mate, I think you got this one. Right? Goodness gracious. 1 kill between Dead Pandora and Rumbleball. But StealthPanzer picking up 13 has given them a crucial contribution medal, which requires 12 kills amongst a platoon. But with his platoon mates only managing to put 1 out of that possible 12 together. If StealthPanzer is able to finish off this Churchill Hill, not only will it be the Rezene Heroes Medal, it will also mean that their platoon has destroyed every single tank on the enemy team. So I like what StealthPanzer is doing here. They're using the time. They have time. They've got more than enough to see if the Churchill enters the cap circle or to see if the Churchill comes after them. And it's the best thing to do right now. If the Churchill enters the cap circle, that allows StealthPanzer to possibly engage at long distance down the 5-6 line, or alternatively make their way over towards the bushes around about kind of like the J9 area, or even the K0 area, and try and get shots in against the Churchill. And when you're a one-shot with 69 not nice hit points to be on, you really don't want to expose yourself in any scenario, let alone when you're on 13 kills. But with 5 minutes left on the game, a third of the battle remaining, StealthPanzer decides they can't hang around any longer. You know what? Why would you go for a draw in this situation? And honestly, I wouldn't cap in this situation either. I think you've got to go for the Rosena Heroes medal. I think that if you have a chance for a Rosena Heroes medal, possibly throwing the game by not capping, go for it. I think it'd be far more epic that one player in your battle gets the Rosena Heroes medal than guarantees a win via capping out. But remember that Churchill, I don't think they've been spotted for about maybe 6, 7, even 8 minutes now. Are they still going to be there? Is this going to be one of those kind of replays where the guy's AFK at the end? Oh yeah. And that's going to allow StealthPanzer to farm up. But oh dear, ladies and gents, something unexpected happens. And that is that as StealthPanzer shoots this unpainted Churchill 3, the Churchill 3 now wakes up. As if a slap to the face has now alerted the Churchill 3 to, oh wait, something's going on. Now interestingly, that Churchill 3 did actually have a mark of excellence there, so they can't be the worst of player. But I've got a sneaking suspicion that it's actually a bot that has been activated. Either that or it's just a massive coincidence that Ilya 06 on the enemy team only started playing when StealthPanzer was shooting their tank. And so this is a predicament now. StealthPanzer is really min-maxing now, firing gold rounds to knock down the walls, to knock down the buildings, to allow them to see if the Churchill 3 is going to come after them. And I'm nervous right now. It looks like StealthPanzer is maybe capping. I'm not sure if they're capping to cap. I think they're probably capping to try and bait the Churchill 3 into coming after them. And let's just see how well this bot has been programmed, because I think this is just the most bizarre scenario. We have an Omega tier tank against a bot that they've activated, and oh my god, the bot is shooting back every shot. Could be the end of StealthPanzer. They got 567 hit points left to go through. They got to try and time it, wait for the Churchill to fall. Bet you didn't see that one coming. Ooh, that was really painful. Now, look, these kind of replays where people are just playing outrageously overpowered tanks, you know something special would have to happen to justify it going up on the YouTube channel, right? If I had $1 for every time I've watched a replay of an overpowered tank going in and having a mammoth game and just going, oh well, I wouldn't be that rich, but I'd be a little bit richer. This game, however, this was an outrageous round. To be on to 5,000 damage, to be on to 13 kills, to have the drama of going up behind a player that I think StealthPanzer was licking their lips, hoping that they were AFK, only to wake up a bot to be able to shut down StealthPanzer. Oh, that hurts so bad. Imagine being in the best tank at tier 5, setting it up. Imagine getting 5,000 damage, destroying 13 out of the 15 players on the enemy team, and then losing to a bot. Although it was a bot on full hit points. I don't really think the StealthPanzer did too much wrong here. I think they went for it, and they had to stop that Churchill from closing the distance. They had to shoot them another 5 times to be able to bring them down. I guess the Rosena Heroes medal just wasn't on the cards. This might just have been the biggest heartbreak I think I've seen in World of Tanks, to not get that 14th kill. I don't know what to say to you, StealthPanzer, to make you feel better about this one. This was 24,000 WN8. It was 1,697 base experience without the Courageous Resistance. Now remember, Courageous Resistance for the Battle Hero medal will mean that the actual base experience of this tank will be like a casual 2,545 base experience, which is what it would have been if StealthPanzer had managed to win this battle. But they didn't. You know you've had a good game when you have to scroll down so far to be able to see all of the list of the tanks that you've destroyed. And unfortunately, going full gold in this replay cost StealthPanzer 108,000 credits profit, but do they really care when they probably just got themselves a new account record with regards to experience? Most likely not. So, StealthPanzer, my condolences for what is one of the biggest heartbreaks I've ever seen in World of Tanks. And thank you so much for uploading this onto the whatrecord.com website and for putting QuickyBaby in the title to be able to get my attention. Boy, this was a banger of a replay, irrelevant of playing an overpowered tank, irrelevant of spamming full gold, irrelevant of using a blooming vent purge directive on a tier 5 game. This was some spicy drama and I loved it. And I hope all of you out there did as well. If you did, make sure you give the video a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And if you're watching this video as it goes live on Friday, I'm going live all day on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby with new drops for the entire weekend. Wargaming putting on some kind of special event where you can get missions for watching the Twitch stream, do your missions in-game, and then you can get yourself some fat rewards like a day of premium, a gun ram, a turbocharger, 5 times experience missions, and more. So really looking forward to being able to give away some awesome loot just from my stream as always. And so looking forward to seeing you all live right now. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic and hopefully I'll see you soon.